Welcome everyone. I'm Sherry Elliott from the Presbytery office. I'm the office manager, Girl Friday. If you ever need anything from the Presbytery and you don't know where to go, I am your resource. So send me an email, call the office, whatever. I'm there for you. I have been coordinating these collaborative conversations on behalf of the Presbytery. They have been an awesome way for us to all connect. We are a very large presbytery. For those who don't know, we do have 88 churches. We are really spread out. If you want to know our general bounds, we start up at Little Trout Lake in the eastern southwest portion of Washington. We go over to our Vancouver churches, which I think there are 4, go over to Astoria, all down the coast to Brookings. We go over to Malin, up through Central Oregon, Prineville, Bend First, and Redmond community. Those are our bounds. So it's a large geographical area. Yeah, it's nice to be able to connect us all through these Zoom meetings. I'm a big believer in not reinventing the wheel. If there's something your church is exploring or considering, let's all, share and collaborate on that and make our jobs easier. We are all connected via our membership in the PCUSA. And as you know, the PCUSA prides ourselves on being the connectional church. So I utilize that mantra a lot. Let's draw from the successes and experience and expertise of those that we are connected with. Yes, this meeting is being recorded, and you can find the recordings to all these conversations on our website. We have a new page with all of our collaborative conversations. Go there. I have it here in the chat. Let's see. It's not letting me. Oh, not waiting room. Everyone in the meeting. Here we go. Okay. So I just put that link in the chat. If you have any interest in exploring the various conversations that we've already held, and there will be links there to our YouTube videos. Yeah, open up your chat window. I hope that we will be very busy in the chat, sharing different ideas, answering questions there, but also verbally as well. If you could rename yourself so we can see what church you are affiliated with, that would be great. I enjoy knowing who's here and seeing what church you're from, what area of our presbytery. I can tell you that we have about 30 churches represented here today. I wanted to give a shout out quickly to Bend First. They had 6 people register for this meeting. Southminster Beaverton had 5 and Prineville had 4. So good job, churches. I'm not sure if you're all here, but it was a good thought to join us. On Monday from me, you will receive a wrap-up email, and in it will show all the meeting highlights, which you are going to help me develop that list. There will be a link to the video. And then if you have any materials that you utilize frequently and think they are great and should be shared with others, send me that resource. Send me that website that you love. Send me the name of the book that you have read that inspired you. Let's share that with our fellow deacons. So send it to me and I'll get it sent out. Okay, we still have people joining. Let's see here. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, it was really exciting to watch this topic blow up. I didn't expect to see so many deacons, and it was exciting to see the interest in this topic. And obviously the desire to connect with other deacons. So yay. And I'm just anxious to hear what you guys have to share today, because again, this is your time. It's a time for sharing of ideas, asking questions, and hopefully making some connections. So if somebody says something that inspires you or, you know, really touches your heart, feel free to connect with them in the chat or connect with me afterwards and I can give you their email. That's what we're here for today. So I sent out 3 prompts ahead of today's meeting, hoping to create more of a efficient flow to the meeting. I thought maybe we'd take 10 to 15 minutes for each one and giving everyone a chance to share and reflect. So I'll go ahead and put those as well into the meeting chat. Oh, let's practice meeting chat. Everyone, I would love to know how many years you've been a deacon. So if you could just drop that into the meeting chat, if it's convenient for you and your tech setup, yeah, we'd love to know how many seasoned deacons do we have here? How many new deacons do we have here? You'd like to send out to your fellow deacons, drop it in the chat. Oh, I see lots of, wow, okay, so 1 and 2 years I see. There's an 8 years. Okay, 3rd year. Okay, super cool. Love it.
Don't know how to do that.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions before we get started? I know I've been kind of zipping through what we're going to do here today, but and so we'll be using the raised hand function since you know, if you're on my page 2 and you raise your hand, I'm probably not going to see you. And if anybody else wants to help me monitor who would like to speak, or but I would recommend using the raised hand when you do want to speak. But let's get busy then and get down to it. The first prompt that we considered was, I love being a deacon because, and this works really well at our church. It's kind of 2 things. If you only want to respond to one of them, I get it. I think we're all kind of here at this meeting to hear what works really well at your church. What are you excited about? What do you guys do to engage with your church members? So what do you got? So I see Pat Berger just dropped something into the chat. Okay, Pat, is there anything there that anything you've been doing with your deacons that brings you joy or that's been working really well in your church? Jackie, I see you have your hand up.
I really have enjoyed being a deacon, and we have a very active group. But the thing that we have been doing the last 3 years that I think is probably the highlight for everybody is called the traveling worship. And we have 2 different styles. We use the Lord's Prayer as one and Psalm 23 as the other. And we just read a section and then we do an activity related to that. And we take it to any of our shut-ins or our people that aren't able to attend because of temporary surgeries or whatever. And we just all go together and we have communion during that time. It's just a wonderful experience for everybody.
Nice. Traveling around and ministering to different people who are unable to attend services regularly. Yeah.
And it really takes the burden off of a deacon when their flock member needs a little more extra love and care, then the whole group goes together and surrounds that person or that family.
Mm. That must be lovely. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Kathy in Prineville, you asked, how do we raise our hand? I am, yeah, like this. Wave it around. And if there's somebody on the second page who can, or just speak out. It doesn't look like we're going to be a super vocal group. So did you want to say something, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Kathy, you have the floor.
Okay. Thank you. Our group is a really good, and we have flocks. That's a good word. We've been using sheep because we said we had shepherdless. But what I like is that we've done really good keeping in touch with our set of sheep or flock or whatever, and also keeping in touch with each other. And that's critically important because we've been 2 years without a minister. And so we're still searching along with several others in Central Oregon even. And it's been tough. So, you know, we've somewhat dwindled, and what we're hoping, we're in the process, just started the process, I guess. But we're looking for other churches that may have been in this situation or just found a pastor or whatever, is how do they keep everybody going and being patient in the process?
That's a good question. And you are definitely not alone in vacant pulpit and searching and keeping up the energy in the church. And that's, I didn't really realize that, but I can imagine that does fall a lot onto the shoulders of the deacons.
Mm,
So, okay, should we answer that question? Does anybody have anything that they would offer to Kathy now, or do you want to think about it and we'll come back to that in a minute, or okay, I'm going to go ahead and call on Lisa because it looked like you might have had something you wanted to say. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa from First Press, downtown Portland. I'm just finishing my 3rd year as a deacon. A couple of things that we seem to do excessively is memorial services. And I think I love that because we have a really good turnout of the deacons when we have a memorial service. So the family really doesn't have to worry about much. We really try to take care of the family and just keep things running. And it's a really great way for us deacons to be in touch with each other, you know, in an afternoon. So that's something that we do. And then I wanted to share one other thing that I don't know when this started. It's been many, many years, but one of the deacons long ago came up with this idea to have what's called the DEAR Fund, DEAR. It stands for Deacons Emergency Assistance Resource, I think. And it started back when we had a bigger youth group, and it on the 5th Sunday of a month, the months that there were 5 Sundays, the youth group would accept donations that would be for the DEAR Fund. And the DEAR Fund is meant to be a small fund that the ministers can use to hand out emergency resources to either members or guests that come frequently. Somebody needs help with paying their utility bill or something. We don't manage the money. We just ask for money when we feel we need it. And this year we were blessed with a matching donation from a member. So we were able to match and raise the amount that we had in that fund. I think we have about $5,000 in that fund, and it never goes much higher than that. And we try to use it up. So just something I thought was kind of interesting.
That is a nice idea. I like that. Sherry Barnett, what church are you
Yeah.
with, Sherry?
Well, I want to say I didn't get the information on there, but I'm with Smith Memorial in
Oh,
Fairview,
okay.
Oregon.
Sure.
We are we're a small church, but the deacons are very active. We have a dozen deacons, and we have two responsibilities each month. Each Sunday at our church, a group is officially assigned for the coffee hour refreshments. So we take one of those Sundays, which is the second Sunday of the month. And on the third Sunday of the month, we have a regular deacon meeting. Attendance at this is absolutely exceptional. Unless the person is out of town or ill, everybody makes a point of attending and bringing at that time for prayers and concerns from their flock. We use the term flock. Uh, uh, for any of our individuals that we are working with as their deacon so that we can pray for them. We what was I say? Oh, something about funding. Yes. Well, we have, I just assumed that all the churches have a deacon fund, and our deacon collection takes place the first Sunday of the month. We're moving that to the third Sunday just so that it coincides with people being in touch with their deacons there at church. But we have currently about $5,400 where we do. I think because there's so much emphasis, our pastor has started announcing each of those Sundays that we have our collection. Just he'll share a little bit about oh well, this past week we were able to, and he'll let the congregation know how their money was used. That's new for us, and the response has it's been excellent, and we've seen since doing this an uptick in contributions. So that's something, to consider. There's no confidentiality breached. It's just simply, an incident. Our church has a very active food pantry, so I would say that probably 85% of the requests that we have for the Deacon Fund come from individuals who they're not church members, but they are there to be able to access the food bank to provide sustenance for them and their families. So it's just amazing what this food bank has done just for the whole energy level of the church. So thank you for the opportunity to share that.
Thank you, Sherry. And I do think it's important. I like hearing that, especially how Pastor Brad will, for one, acknowledge what the deacons have been doing, your good work, but for two, also letting people know how their funds are being used. It's, in order to collect funds, it's nice to know an accounting maybe of how those are blessing the community. So I like that.
Good.
Michelle.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle. I'm a deacon at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Portland. And what I do for the community, I deliver food to the people after they leave the hospitals with other deacons, and we take care of them almost 4 days or weeks. And what my church doing to the community is encouraging and arranging to help others in church or out of the church. And I believe I'm the only immigrant deacon in the church. And I hope to help others regardless their citizenship. And if any advice for me to be, work better, improve, I'm here to listen. Thank you.
Thank you for your ministry to local immigrants, especially. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Michael Hawkins, Southminster.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the moderator for the deacons at Southminster. We have 12 deacons. And just at the end of 2024, we started initiating a better way to stay in connection with our congregation and our friends and family and members. And it's kind of been, for me, a little bit of an administrative uphill effort to, when I hear prayer requests and I take notes during that time, during the service of who's asking for prayer, whether it's a joy or a concern. And then I feel like those are the people that we probably should be in connection with, but it's an ongoing every week. We have this um, group of people who are asking for our prayers, asking for help. And I'm wondering how others, when you get information, our church has about averages around 125 to 135 attendance on Sunday morning.
Wow.
So the prayer requests, I'll just say sometimes there's between 10 and 15 requests. How do you manage that on an ongoing basis to get the word out, to manage it, and what's the follow up? How do you make it work? And I'm in the chat with this very same question. So if you want to contact me later, that's also possible. Thank you.
Good question, Michael. Oh, Victoria, did you want to respond to Michael's question?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm from Rise Church, formerly Calvin Presbyterian in Tigard. We do have prayers on Sunday for the prayer concerns, but we have a Zoom prayer meeting once a week, and anyone can attend. But there's about a half a dozen that are really regular, and we get all the prayer requests. We talk about the prayer requests. I keep track of members who are on the prayers and let their deacons know that someone in their parish has an issue. We do put out via email a prayer request list every week, and I try to make it clear to the deacons that it's important for them to be on that prayer chain list, though you never know. Everybody gets so many emails. I don't know how many read everything, but at any rate, I get in touch with each deacon who has someone on the prayer list. Beyond that, I don't follow up. It's the deacon's job to keep in touch with their parish and if they need help. We have started, well, this isn't recent. For the last few years, we've had what we call buddy groups. So that if you are going to be gone for a few weeks, or if you need help with a memorial service, or you need help helping your parish, someone in your parish, you can ask initially your buddy group to help you. And that's worked pretty well. I hope that's helpful.
Patricia, were you also wanting to respond to Michael's
Yes.
question?
We do pretty much the same thing that she does. We have a prayer request, prayer chain that goes out of the office every Monday afternoon after service, and then people are also invited to share prayers. And we too, encourage our deacons to, make sure to contact. And then the person doing the prayer chain also sends sympathy cards, get well cards, those types of things to follow up right away, so that they're aware. The prayers that we do on Sunday, because we're on YouTube, Pastor Josh, unless the people have given permission for it to be public, he will just say their names. And then obviously members and deacons follow up just from hearing their names. But something we also did with our deacons several years ago is that the interim pastor that we were using encouraged the deacons to have prayer partners within the deacons, because we too need support, and I know for myself, I find it difficult to ask for a lot of help in those areas, thinking that I'm caring for others, and self-care becomes so important. And it forms a real strong bond within the deacons themselves, that will follow even when you're not a deacon. I have a good friend that we started out as prayer partners, who is now one of my deepest friends. And we, she's constantly monitoring me. And it was, we just thought it was such a good idea, because as we're giving care, we forget that we need to care for each other within our deacon group.
Thank you, Patricia. Yes, self-care. Doma.
Did you say Donna?
Oh, I'm sorry. Your name is, yeah, Donna.
Okay.
Scott Park.
Okay. Well, we are getting ready to merge with another church, so we kind of are not doing a lot right now, but we have a history in our area with a large homeless population. And I think what we've learned as deacons is that sometimes you have to think outside of the box. I think our role has changed over the years. When my mom was a deacon, it seemed like it was visits to the shut-in and nursing homes. And with our houseless friends, it could be most anything. We had offered a shower and haircut program. We worked with the city of Portland in the community center. They would allow us to pay for showers there. And once someone had a shower, we arranged with a barber for a haircut. And so that was one of the things we've done. We've taken homeless folks to get their records, birth certificates, things that maybe social security cards, things that they've let go. At one time, we rented a porta potty for a homeless man who was recuperating from a serious fall in someone's garage so that he would have facilities. So we've learned to think outside of the box, and all things are possible, even though they aren't quite traditional. And I appreciate the point about the self-care, because if you don't take care of yourself, you aren't going to really be able to fully give to others. And it's good to have a buddy, or maybe just as a group, have a fun activity once in a blue moon kind of thing. So thank you.
Hello, you're muted too, Sherry. I couldn't hear you.
You're right. You're right.
I was waiting to hear your voice. Hi, so my name is Allison. I am a deacon at the Yachats Community Presbyterian Church in Yachats, Oregon. There are two others of us on this call today. We have 6 deacons, and about an average of, we have a membership of 55 people. Almost all of whom show up on Sunday morning. We are expanding. We're a growing community with a really fabulous minister, and we're very pleased with that. We are not involved with the food pantry because it's already an ongoing thing with another part of our church. The homeless people are also, we have a Don's Place that's taken care of, have built structures for them behind the church, 5 different ones that help to house them in the winter and feed them. That's a whole other project that the church is handling. The deacons are not really involved in that, except to be in prayer about that. And some of us do have, some of the homeless are in our flock, as you call them. We haven't called them anything really. I think that a couple of things that I think about are, we would like to attract at least one male as a deacon. We're going to have 2 slots opening up in January. And I don't know if the sweet men on this call have an idea of how we can do that. It obviously is usually a female thing with our nurturing, but I know there are beautiful men out there who would do a great job. So that's something I'm looking at hoping to do in the next year. I also relate to the memorials. We have a very elderly congregation. We have several people in our congregation who are 90 or older. And so we know that this is going to be an issue in the future pretty rapidly. And that is totally a deacon responsibility, the after the refreshment section, after the memorial. So we had one recently and it went beautifully. It's going to be a lot. And I'm hoping that we can recruit a few other people to help with those when they happen. So that's just the one thing that I think about. I really like all the things that I've heard. I've written down a lot of them. We also have a prayer chain. I haven't been actually keeping track of the people on Sunday who ask for prayer, but I think I've put it down now that I will keep track of that and put it specifically on our prayer chain during the week so that it's we're reminded of that. And I don't know, maybe some of my other sweet deacons would like to speak. Miriam and Joni, but I'm learning a lot. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to listen to what everybody else is doing, and hope to maybe meet some of you in the future. And thank you, Sherry, for all that you're doing to bring us together. Thank you.
So I do see Michael with his hand up. Michael, how do we attract males into the roles of the deaconry?
It's a great question. And I'm thankful that with this most recent time of initiation for Southminster, we have one more male besides me as a deacon, and Gary is on this call with us today. Thank you, Gary, for being here and also for accepting the invitation to be a deacon. Oftentimes, when the women of the church who are deacons need something done, they often may have a husband that helps them when they need to move heavy stuff, whatever. We have found that at this current stage in Southminster's deacons, all 10 of the women are widows. No, nine of them. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble here or start anything. But as far as me joining, I'm fairly new to Southminster. I'm a neophyte still. I've only been there 10 years. And I say that with a little bit of tongue in cheek, but there's people as yourself who've been doing this for decades. I just looked for where I felt I fit in, and I've always been a giver. I like helping. And in my what do I like about being a deacon, I just said, I just feel like it's the ministry of compassion and service, listening to people. I have a background of listening to people. I used to be a funeral director, so that might have a glove in hand to the whole thing there. I love working for the people in our church, and I like meeting the people I don't know. So I think look for someone who's maybe just sitting and not just sitting, but not engaged, and find out if you can become a coffee partner with them. I like this buddy system. I told Gary that he and I would be on the buddy system ourselves. He's brand new to being a deacon, so I don't want to lose him, but I also want to make sure I'm paying attention to whatever it is that he has questions about. And this goes for all of our new deacons. But as far as finding a new one, I think you just put it out there and say, this is what we want. This is what we need. And like some of you have announcements on Sundays or whatever, or goes into your newsletter, just say, hey, we want to balance this out a little bit, because I think men have a great way of reaching out to those, because we're always connecting with people that are asking for help. And I think sometimes having a male is there, and it's important. It makes it safe for another guy or whatever. So I just say start talking about it, make it happen. I think that's sort of how we ended up with Gary, and I'm very happy for the balance we have now. So it's 2 to 10. I mean, it's 12 of us.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate that. And I think that's a great idea to put the announcement out. I have a few people I'm looking at that. But we're not, the election's not till January, so I'm kind of holding back right now, but that I want to talk to personally. But I like that idea too, of just making the announcement and letting them decide for themselves when they're ready. Also, I just wanted to mention that one of the things I love about being a deacon is just that we do get to connect with everyone in the community. I can walk in the room now and know everyone in that room unless they're there for the first time. And that makes me very happy, very happy. So thank you again. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, Caroline, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I couldn't find my hand icon, so there you
Okay.
go. So we've got 5 on our little tiny church, 5 deacons, and I'm one of them. And so a note from our guy deacon, Jason, he loves being a deacon because of the camaraderie, the sense of responsibility, and doing for the congregation and the church. I enjoy donating a couple extra hours of my time and helping any way I can. Our deacons are willing to do whatever it takes and work together to make sure our congregation is comfortable and our church is well taken care of. And I would echo that too. The choice of being able to serve and meet people's needs is fulfilling, and I think it follows Christ's philosophy of helping others and connecting with people. Our church is going to be participating in the Aurora Colony Days this year. Last year we had an open house where we opened up the church, and there were a few of us that it's a historical church, and we have the pews that were from the original Aurora Colony. So that's really interesting. And then we have other interesting tidbits that we know. But this year, they've changed it up a little bit. They're actually going to have artisans out in front of our church, and we've got space, and we're going to have easy ups and literature, and we'll be out there greeting people and then inviting them into the church and listening to our historic organ and things like that. So we like to be connective too, or connecting with our community, no matter who they are. And we're a welcoming church, and I love that about this place. And we also have, we have started calling our groups flocks, since we're shepherds. There are a couple of us that work nearly full-time hours. So if anybody has any insights on how to make being a deacon more meaty, but not using up all the headspace and physical space, any insights like that, we would love to hear.
Thank you, Caroline. Marty, I see you with your hand up.
I don't have my hand up, but there's another Marty. Are there 2 of us?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm Gary. Sorry.
Oh,
Marty, I thought I saw you with your hand up, but maybe you did just have it on your shoulder.
it's okay. While I have it, I can say just a little something about having the men involved in being a deacon.
Sure.
I think that their personalities are a little bit different. We, as women, tend to be nurturing and maybe a little less shy when it comes to standing up. I find that with most men, if you ask, they'll just do about anything, but sometimes you have to ask. So you may just need to approach those, especially those that you wouldn't think might want to be involved. You'd be surprised. So sometimes it's just going to someone and mentioning a need, giving them that first step. And if you've got like the person that said they've got several months before they need to have that new deacon in, I would continue to approach men in your congregation and just bring up that thought, sort of plant the seed, ask them to pray about it a little bit. But a lot of times they're just waiting to be asked.
Gary.
Yeah, I don't see the hand icon either, so I think I'd speak up. Yeah, Michael made an interesting point. My situation, I've been a member of Southminster for quite a while, for actually several years, and I've been asked in the past to do this, become a deacon. But because of my job responsibilities, working many hours and having kind of weird hours, I wasn't able to do that. And then later I was kind of taking care of my mother as a caregiver. And so I just wasn't in a situation where I could do this. I could spend that amount of time. So I would recommend, if you're looking for men, not to be afraid to approach somebody, or probably for anyone, maybe in the future. So it may not work out for somebody at this particular time, but then later on the situation could change and they might be available. So kind of be open to that. I think most people have lots of commitments these days, and you might be able to approach them later.
Good thoughts, Gary. Thank you. I wanted to say that I've been somewhat monitoring the chat, but I've also been trying to really focus on what's being said. I will put a copy of the chat into the meeting resources when I send out my wrap-up email on Monday. So you'll be able to access the chat and see who said what. Okay, I want to stay with my original schedule. It feels like we've been doing a little bit of a mixture, but is there anybody that came? Obviously, we've already heard people asking for some advice, but is there anybody who also is looking for advice on a specific topic? Rebecca.
Hi, took me a while to unmute myself. My co-leader of our deacons group at St. Andrews, I don't think she was able to get on, but she is in charge of our emergency needs requests that come into the church. We have an emergency needs fund that is funded primarily through donations that are made by families of people who we've had memorial services for at the church. So we don't have a huge amount of money in that fund, and so we decided we have like maybe one of our deacons that is really in charge of taking in these requests and giving things out like gift cards for gas and but it was not very just we didn't have a spreadsheet like, you know, we give this much for this request, these requests, we give this much for these requests. And recently we've been getting a lot of requests for rental assistance. We just don't have that much money we would be completely out with the first request, you know, if for a lot of these rent requests that come in from Portland because rent's very high. I'm wondering, but we do have a spreadsheet that we've made out that like, yes, we do approve these kinds of requests. We don't approve these kind of requests, which is rent. We can't approve those. We would like to be able to help, but we just can't. And I don't know whether anybody else does take requests for rental help. If we could pool with other churches in the area, we might be able to help, but we can't just do individual requests. That's my question.
Oh, Kathy, Prineville.
I would say we're in the same boat. We couldn't help with that. But what we have done is try and work with other not-for-profits. We have a community network Zoom call once a month between churches and not-for-profits. So we try to be aware of where they can go. And so in our area, it's Neighborhood Impact who can help with that, because part of this is coordinating for people. And so when you get requests you can't fill, you need to know where to send those people or what the process is. So it's not solving it, but it's trying to at least get the people to an agency that might be able to help them, because there are those, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more in the coming months. So
Let's see, Patricia, Vancouver. Oops, Patricia, you need to unmute.
I moved my chat over on the corner there, so I forgot. A lot of the people that we're seeing with these rent requests recently are people that are experiencing this for the first time. So they're not, like she says, they're not aware of places they can go. And these will often end up being kind of long-term issues for them. And so in Vancouver, we have a nonprofit council for the homeless that they also work with a lot of other nonprofits in the area that are, can help them seek housing, can do some rental assistance, because the best thing is to keep them in the house they're in rather than have this be an ongoing problem. But in all of our care request things that we monitor, we look for things that are emergency one-time situations. Anything that we see that's going to be a long-term issue, we try to seek help in the community for them. And through these nonprofits or through like someone that's going to need eyeglasses every year, we hook them up with the Lions Club. So we kind of we are as a resource for them to hit, so that we can direct them to people that can help them more on a long-term basis.
Thank you, Patricia. Jackie.
Yes, one of the things that we've discovered with our aging church community, is that the needs sometimes overwhelm the deacon. And I was wondering if anybody had a really good, checklist, I guess, of how far to go with their flock members. And if you're in your handbook, if you have a really good limit of what you should agree to do to help your flock member, would help some of us.
An interesting question.
If Marty's still on,
I am.
Would you be able to share some insight on her questions? Because I think we have pretty good system.
Well, I don't feel like we've had, I get a feeling you might be talking about something that got a little out of hand, like someone who was ill and you went to take them food and then you ended up doing their laundry and cleaning their house, or, physically getting involved. We haven't had that happen.
Right. No, what I was referring to is the guideline that we have in terms of maximum request and what type of things we typically address for monetary.
Oh,
I imagine you have that too. You were talking more about the physical, weren't you?
Oh,
right,
okay. Sorry,
right.
I misunderstood.
Actual activities, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, though.
So, and these are all things that I think we will continue to think about even after we leave this meeting, and then kind of ruminate on it. And you're going to get my email. And then at that point, maybe more information will be forthcoming, Jackie. And so thank you for that question. Ms. Shaw.
Hi, everyone. Actually, I live in North Portland, and most of the homeless crisis I see it by the Lloyd Center, and I encounter all the time meeting with homeless, and they ask me always to use my phone to talk to to their friends, to talk to their family, to talk to 211 for rent assistance. The few years they told me they had federal connective program. They paid for them. They give them a free phone with $30 balance every month. But the federal fund is gone. They don't have phone to communicate. And I believe communication is important to communicate with those folks, the homeless, to connect, at least to have their phone. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't give their phone to the homeless and avoid them. And I think communication is important for them. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a That's a real problem. Yeah, and communication is important, ability to stay in touch. Okay, I just want to mention we're coming up on 8 minutes to our hour-long session. I am happy to keep this meeting open for as long as you guys want to talk. Anybody who wants to hop off at noon or whenever is free to do so. But as long as there's energy to keep discussing, let's do it. So, Michael.
My heart goes out to these churches where the need is greater than you can provide. And I'm going to say some of that has not landed at our doorstep at Southminster. Some of it has been more of a food request or an emergency, I'll say petty cash, need of $50 or something like that. And the office and Pastor Scott are able to manage that as needed. I'm a little overwhelmed if this was to start becoming a regular that deacons are managing. So therefore, those higher end ticket items haven't even become apparent to us. Maybe they're there. But the one thing that we have had some experience with is when someone has a need for food, we have set a limit for providing 14 meals. That doesn't necessarily mean 14 days or just in 2 weeks time. That might be spread out every other day, every third day, because when we provide meals, we often provide enough for leftovers and the meal the next day, etc. So we've set a guideline there that we associate the need with the people who maybe they're connected with. Like if it's a choir member, we'll encourage the choir to participate in the food program because there's only 12 deacons. And we have found that the food requests can be just as overwhelming as somebody asking you for rent. And not everyone's available. And the same thing with transportation. People are doing right now, we have people going to rehab appointments, and we're mostly okay with our deacons, but we do put it out to the church when the need gets greater. And so I think we just always have to be flexible and expand where we can and get other people to help within the church, but also have very firm guidelines on for the need for the people, and you explain that to them when they ask. So it's like, okay, here's a $50 voucher, or here's a 2-week meal program. This is what we can do right now. I will reassess it at the end if there's a genuine need. I will talk to my pastor and say, hey, do we want to continue this for another 2 weeks or something like that? So it's flexible and it's fluid, and we try and deal with it per case and also respect the person in the process.
Michael. Allison.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Michael. That's a very interesting process. We do not have that at our church about making meals for people, unless there is a specific request. What I would say is we do ours on an individual request basis. We don't have a guidebook for it, and we make those decisions in hand with the pastor. We do have a very, very thriving food pantry that is open 3 days a week, and it gets a lot of donations from around the town and other places. So we have always got stuff there and plenty of help for the unhoused. We do have a boundary. I'll just do a quick story about a woman whose in-house care retired, and she therefore asked her deacon if she'd move in with her.
Oh my.
That was a boundary we did not cross. So we said, no, I'm sorry, that is not what we do. And we can't do that for you. But that's probably the biggest request we've ever had. Otherwise, we take them as they come and do what we can with where we are. We don't have a big budget, but it's not very limited. If we needed more money, the pastor would rearrange the budget for that. But otherwise, Otherwise, we don't have any of those things you all have set up. We haven't had that issue yet, but it's good to know what you all are doing to help with that. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Donna. Oopsie, Donna. Donna, yeah, you need to unmute. There you go.
Sorry, my machine was doing something unexpected. I think it's important to, as these kind of offbeat requests come up, and we have had some, and I think as a deacon, you think, well, this person's in my flock, I can handle this. But if it seems outside of normal, I think you need to consult a buddy deacon or the pastor, because you can get yourself in trouble. I was helping one lady in my flock who had a cancer diagnosis, and she had a youngster in primary school, and she also had mental health issues, which I didn't really recognize, that became worse with her cancer treatment. And so it's real easy to get in over your head. And I think you just need to ask for help early, get someone else to help, because you can't get in a situation that's kind of really outside of your pay grade in terms of what you are skilled to handle. And it ended up, you know, it ends up very hard. So I think you just need to really communicate within your deacon group and your pastor about what's going on, if and not get in that position. And it's smart to kind of know that it can happen, because I was a little naive.
Okay. Was there a comment for you people who have been able to monitor the chat closely? Was there a comment in there that really jumped out at you, or maybe we should highlight? I don't really want to scroll down the full list. I do want to acknowledge that you have left comments, chats, and I will, like I said, send out the chat record with the meeting wrap up. But as we wind down here, if there was something in there that you found to be especially helpful, I think everybody would like to know about that. Or is there anything else that you have come wanting to know and we haven't touched on it yet? This is Allison, back in Yachats.
Well, I'm wondering about the handbook. Someone mentioned they have a handbook. I don't believe we have one. I haven't seen it yet. If we do, is there a presbytery handbook for deacons specifically?
You know what? Okay, so for something like that, am I muted? I'm not muted. I would go to PCUSA Deacon Handbook. Presbyterian Deacon Updated Edition. Don't go to the PCUSA website.
Okay.
Google what you're looking for,
okay,
and Google will take you there.
Great.
So that's a pro tip, but you might be able to find it there. Or Scott, do you guys have a Deacon Handbook that you'd be willing to share?
I'll jump in before Scott. I don't think we have a handbook. Do we, Scott?
I don't. I bet we probably do, but you and I are not privy to where it is at this moment, right?
We might just create our own.
Yeah. How about we look and see what we can find?
Thank you. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wanted to comment on one thing. Is that okay, Sherry?
Sure.
I'm just going to say that about a year and a half ago, one of our deacons said something to the effect of, I was hoping that being a deacon would be, there would be more asked of me than to make cookies. And we all just took that to heart. I think maybe we'd had a number of funerals and there'd been a lot of cookie baking, but it was a very serious kind of question from someone who joined the Deacons and really wanted to do real ministry. And Michael took that and ran with it. Since then, our associate pastor retired after many years. We hired a youth director instead of a new associate. And so the need for pastoral care has gone up, and the deacons have just really jumped in. We haven't quite figured out how to do it best yet, but we're trying. And I love the fact that the 12 are taking that so seriously. So I mention it because I imagine that may come up in other churches, or it certainly is a live issue, whether it comes up or not.
Okay. It looks like there is a Presbyterian deacon handbook or book on it. And then Mike Jack, he says, I take my golden retriever puppy to a memory care unit and I always get a smile. Yeah, I bet you do, Mike. Good for you. I love that. Okay. What else? What else? Anything else? Lisa Snotterly. Whoops, I might have just muted you.
Thank you. Oh, there you go. One of the other things that we manage through the Deacons, we don't do the knitting, but we manage the prayer shawl program. So we have knitters in the church, and those shawls are blessed. We also do baby blankets and special blankets for high school graduates. When I say we, like we don't do the knitting, but the prayer shawls, the baby blankets are knitted. And then 2 or 3 times a year, we have a blessing of those shawls and blankets at a church service. And we keep the blessed shawls in a separate place from the ones that are coming in that are being knitted. So we are handing out prayer shawls. It's one of the things that the deacons manage for the church. So when we hear about somebody that's had surgery or sick or has a illness in the family, we keep that in mind. And then usually one of the deacons tries to deliver that prayer shawl. So it's just another thing that we help with.
And I'm sure the quilters get in on that as well. I know we've got a lot of churches that have quilters as well as knitters. So great way to put them to work and utilize their beautiful creations. Yeah. I might just mention, and what you will see in the wrap-up email is, in preparation for this meeting, I did a bit of poking around on the internet myself. And I just asked, what are some creative, new, fresh ideas for deaconry? And I got some interesting responses, and I went ahead and put them in some Word documents, and I'll share those with you in case there's something there. There was talk about self-care, so it was nice to see that pop up in the conversation today, how our deacons need to be sure and take care of themselves. But otherwise, there was another one that I thought was kind of interesting. It's basically this model, holding a collaborative conversation with on a specific topic in your church with members that might have a common need. So, okay, I guess. Peg. Let me see if I can.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm going to go back just a moment to the idea of a handbook, because throughout this whole conversation, I've been thinking, well, that would be something that that we could share. How are we going to, there's a lot of intelligence here and actual use of things. How do we pull it all together? And because of corporate background, my question is, does the presbytery have control of such a thing? If you put together a deacon's handbook that included information from all the different churches, things that work, or things that didn't work, as one of your questions was, what didn't work? There's so many nice little pieces here, but it would be nice to be able to have it in maybe a printed thing, certainly online. And it's the kind of thing that I may regret this, but I enjoy doing. So, but would the presbytery have any say over what you did? Would they have to approve it? Would they have to? I don't mind reading and so forth and reviewing, but what would be the official reaction to something like that?
I have a feeling, okay, so just like our different policies, child protection policies, and there's a couple others, we will give out templates, but we don't write those for the churches. So I think we would encourage the church to write their own. This is what's going through my mind right now. Okay, I hear of this need for a deacon handbook within our various churches. Why could I not help facilitate a group of people, including Peg Silloway, plus 5 others, to work together? I can, set up, or you can set up meetings. Let's come together and see if we can create something like that. I can also ask my fellow admins throughout the United States who work in a job like mine, if they have any templates for a deacon handbook. But it's not really anything that I have seen here at the presbytery level, but I think we would be happy to help you with that, because obviously your guys' jobs are very important, your ministry to the members of your church. So let's be in touch, Peg.
Okay. Sounds good.
Patricia.
We had a new thing that we started this year. One of our former deacons, now that he's not on the deacons, decided that he still wanted to continue giving in that way. And he and his wife, along with the deacon support, are celebrating all our people that have 90 or older birthdays every month on their birthday month. And we are amazed at the joy it brings to those people, but the joy that everyone has in celebrating them. And if they maybe are not regular attenders anymore, it gives them an opportunity to let family know. I mean, we always let them know and their families know that we will be celebrating them this month. We'd really love it if they were attending. And so it is just this great gift to be able to see them also. And we have been amazed at just the joy that it brings. It's done the last Sunday of every month. And it is just going over so well and just a joy.
A lovely idea, especially as our congregations age. We have more and more over 90, don't we? Yeah.
I think part of it started because we celebrate our 50-year members on Pentecost. And there are some that will never make 50 years, but have obviously, if they're in their 90s and still with us, they have offered so much to the church in their time with us. And it's a way of celebrating them. So.
Okay, Michael, are you going to be our last comment of the day?
I just wanted to share in response to Scott's comment that the deacon that said, I don't want to just bake brownies or cookies. I will say this in the defense of all of us that provide care, whether it's a brownie or a cookie plate. I don't know that it's like the ripple in the water. You throw the stone, you don't know where the outreach is going to land, but the outreach is massive. We just had a service in our church a week ago, Tuesday, of one of our long-term members. I was out of town and I coordinated a lot of the events for the memorial service before going. I put one of my deacons in charge of managing the rest of it. What I think I heard in feedback was how they felt providing care whether it was setting up tables, making iced tea, putting up, making the church look nice, doing flowers. These are the things we do, and we do it well. And I think we got to honor ourselves in this as well. To me, this is part of self-care. You put a lot in, and we may not know the result, but we give it freely, just like Christ would give his love. We don't know what the person's going to do with it, but I feel like our group does everything we can. And I don't like it to be just, oh, we just bake cookies. No, but we do. And I'm owning that. It's important. It makes a point, it makes a statement, and it's helping the families. So on that note, I'll mute.
To all of you. Yeah, really appreciate you coming on today and sharing different aspects of your ministry. Yeah, let's just go ahead and close and know that we as the Presbytery, we do appreciate your service to your churches, to our churches. So carry on and do good work. And yeah, thank you very much.